morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I do want to recognize some folks who are with us in the audience. We have our fire chief, Jason Wells, who's here, our commissioner of public safety, Ken Armstrong, our director of E911, I saw her out here, Jonelle Patton. Where did you go? There you are. And our Public Works and Environmental Quality Commissioner, Nancy Albright. And we welcome all of you to this wonderful day. We have several council members with us. Vice Mayor Dan Wu, at-large council member James Brown, and 1st District Council Member Tyler Morton, 6th District Council Member Lisa Higgins Hord. Thank you all for being with us. Today I'm announcing that I am appointing Tom Elyn to fill the remainder of Councilmember Hannah Legree's term as 3rd District Council Member. And I'm so happy that Hannah Legree is here. I know you're here. Where are you? Thank you for coming. Welcome, Tom, and welcome to your wife, Becky, and your family members who are with us. Tom is well prepared to be the council member for the 3rd District. He's active in many local organizations and is well informed about the issues facing our community. Tom was Metro State columnist for the Lexington Herald-Leader from 2008 to 2019, and the newspaper's managing editor from 1998 through 2008. He now works as a contract employee for the Carnegie Center for Literacy and Learning on projects to promote Kentucky's literary arts, and he manages the Kentucky Writers Hall of Fame process. Tom is chair of the Mary Todd Lincoln House Board and a member of the Kentucky Heritage Council and the University Press of Kentucky's editorial board. A 9th-generation Kentuckian, Elyn was born in the 3rd District at Good Samaritan Hospital and lived across the street until age 7, when his family moved to what was then rural Fayette County. He graduated from Lafayette High School and Western Kentucky University. Tom's hobbies include photography, cycling, and researching and writing about Lexington and Kentucky history. He was a contributing author of the book Bluegrass Renaissance, The History and Culture of Central Kentucky, 1792 to 1852. Tom and his wife Becky are active members of Second Presbyterian Church. They have 2 adult daughters and 2 grandchildren who attend Fayette County Public Schools. And before we move on, I want to recognize, well, I thought I saw Rob Larkin here, but I think not. So Tom, we are very happy to have you here, and I'd like to invite you to the podium to tell us more about your interest in serving on the council. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Gorton. I spent 40 years covering and working with government as a newspaper reporter, editor, and columnist. I never expected to be on this side of the microphone. But when Mayor Gorton asked me to take this job, I knew it was a unique opportunity to learn more about my hometown, a place I truly love. I could not be more excited. I've always thought that one of Lexington's greatest strengths was its nonpartisan government structure. That frees leaders to focus more on problem solving than politics and partisan agendas. I'm honored to be a part of that process. I'm also honored to be filling the remaining 11 months of Hannah Legree's term. Hannah was an outstanding council member, following examples set by some of her 3rd District predecessors, including my good friends Deborah Hensley and the late Jake Gibbs. She will be a tough act to follow, both for me and for whomever is elected in November. As the mayor said, I was born in the 3rd District and lived there my first 7 years. I've lived there for the past 14 years. It's a district that includes much of our urban core and many great, vibrant neighborhoods, including the one where I've been a neighborhood association president and a board member for many years. The 3rd District also includes the campus of the University of Kentucky, Lexington's largest employer and an intellectual engine that drives our creativity. One of my hobbies, as they said, is researching and writing about Lexington history. And that history has a lot of greatness and shame, but that research makes me think that Lexington is better positioned for long-term success now than probably at any point in the past 2 centuries. But as we pursue growth and success, we must be careful not to lose the things that make Lexington and Fayette County special. The same values that guided me as a journalist will guide me as a council member: transparency, accountability, fairness, and fact-based analysis. Government's best decisions, I think, are made when leaders embrace such core values as justice, diversity, equity, and inclusion. The most important things every mayor can do right now, especially in these troubled times, I think, are to participate in democracy and to help our neighbors, and I mean all of our neighbors. Over the next 11 months, I will work hard to represent my district and my city. I'll be a good listener, try to be a good learner, and decision maker. Look forward to working with Mayor Gorton, Vice Mayor Wu, my fellow council members, and our many dedicated, hardworking city employees to make Lexington a better place for everyone to live, work, and grow. Thank you, and I'm happy to take any questions.
We'll do questions in a minute.
Okay.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much, Tom. Now, I want to turn this mic over to Fayette Circuit Judge Lucy Van Meter, who will administer the oath. Welcome. And then you'll just, let me get out of the way.
Yeah. Where do you want me?
Let's have you closest to the camera.
Okay, all right. That's right?
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the Commonwealth, and be faithful and true to the Commonwealth of Kentucky so long as you continue a citizen thereof, and that you will faithfully execute to the best of your ability the office of Council Member, Lexington, Fayette, Urban County Government, according to law? And do you further solemnly swear that since the adoption of the present Constitution, that you, being a citizen of this state, have not fought a duel with a deadly weapon within this state, nor without it, nor have you sent or accepted a challenge to fight a duel with deadly weapons, nor have you acted as a second in carrying a challenge, nor aided or assisted any person thus offending, so help you God?
I do.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Councilmember Elyn. Now, I'd like to ask if any of the media have questions for Councilmember Elyn. Come on. Anybody have a question? Yes,
Hey, Adrian.
Yeah, congratulations on you, John.
Thank you.
You're coming in at a pretty pivotal time for the 3rd District. The downtown master plan is going to be coming out fairly soon. And I know that you've done a lot of work in studying Lexington's history and have a passion for historic preservation. So that can often be sort of in conflict or create tension with goals of increasing density, especially in areas like the 3rd District. Do you have a vision in your role for how to strike balances?
Well, I'll have to study this a little more because I haven't thought about it in these terms really. But I think there's a way to balance both. I mean, I believe very much in historic preservation, and I also know that we need to get denser. But I think we can do both. You know, a lot of it is just being sensitive to our current neighborhoods and looking for ways to kind of fit density in where it won't disrupt other people's lives. But I think one of the main ways we can do that is to look at some of our corridors and some of our underutilized land and not really encroach too much on neighborhoods.
Any other questions from the media?
I wanted to ask just with kind of this kind of you being appointed, just kind of how that whole kind of process works. Volunteer and approach you, just kind of how
I didn't volunteer. The mayor just called and said she wanted to meet, and I figured it was something important, and she's a good salesperson, a good recruiter. So, but no, I was really honored. When she asked me, it was not something I really sought, but I'm thrilled to be doing it.
Other questions, media?
I have a question. So why did you say yes?
Why did I say yes? Well, one thing is I've really admired Lexington government, the way it works. I think, our state and federal governments could learn a lot from kind of the nonpartisan problem-solving way that we get things done here. So I know a lot of people in city government. I've got a lot of respect for what they do, and I saw it as an opportunity to really contribute to my community. I've done that in other ways as a neighborhood leader, as, a board member and things, and, this was a really good opportunity to do that for almost a year and get an inside look at government after, looking at it from the outside for many decades.
I have a question for the mayor. Why did you pick them?
No, that's fine. Let's see, how many people have I appointed to council? 3? Over the years, several. And I'm always looking for a person with experience of some kind, and a person who will be have a perspective on government that's open, a person who's open to new ideas, and who's good at working with other people. I'm always looking for someone who is steady as she goes, kind of. And I've known Tom for a long time in various places and ways, and have always admired him, because if you know him, you know he can talk to anybody. And he thinks about things. He really does. And I appreciate that, and I think someone like that can work well with other council members, with the administration, and those were some of the reasons I asked him. Yeah. Other questions? All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Councilmember Elyn.
Thank you.
Congratulations. All right, there we go.
There we go.
Thank you.
Wait for a second for it to die down. Excuse me, everybody. Excuse me. This is Commissioner Nancy Albright, our Commissioner of Environmental Quality and Public Works, okay? Good morning. I know that we've had a lot of questions from the public and from the media and from our council members. So I would like to give a brief update on what we've been doing the last couple of weeks on snow response and ice, and then have an opportunity maybe for a couple of questions after that. What we've been doing since January 24th, we have put down over 19,000 gallons of beet heat. We have used 4,600 tons of salt on 70 city vehicles and 150 or so city employees. In addition, we have used 2 contractors to move snow with both dump trucks and plows and then construction equipment. We have used 2,000 hours of overtime in the last 10 to 12 days. You may remember some comments that we had about increasing our budget in response to last year's storm that had a lot of similarities and was dubbed the snow lasagna. We had budgeted in fiscal year 25 about $2 million for snow and ice response, and that's all in. After the storm in January of last year, the administration found funds by reallocating items to use an additional $2 million to purchase additional equipment primarily. And those purchases have been made, and that equipment is in place. This year, in addition to that, we had budgeted $3.5 million for snow and ice response. Again, all in, that includes buying salt, setting up contract help, and all those things. The areas that we concentrate when we respond to any storm, including this one, is our major roads come first. We have to get the hospitals accessible, the jail, the fire stations, things like that. So as most people kind of can appreciate, that's where we start, and then we kind of work our way down into the neighborhoods over time. Our current priorities are still, believe it or not, this many days in, working on corridors. More than specific intersections, we've been working on corridors such as Man of War, and we look at all of the turn lanes and all of the intersections along Man of War. And then we're switching to Harrodsburg Road, Tates Creek Road, Alumni Drive, to make sure all of the intersections in that stretch of road are accessible. We also have been looking, after last year's event and the conversation about trying to get back to school, we started prioritizing more the bus routes, including bus routes that weren't previously being addressed. So we've spent a lot of staff time getting deeper into the neighborhoods so you may wonder why a road that's not very busy is clearer than a road that may be a little busier. It's because it's a school bus route, and we're focusing on trying to help Fayette County schools get back. This week, we're also shifting a little bit around Rupp Arena because you may know we've got a couple things going on this week, and so we have to make sure that venue is also accessible from all directions. Starting today and going forward, we've hired 2 additional contractors that will focus on areas like Corporate Drive and Perimeter Drive. Again, corridors as much as intersections. These are smaller streets, but they are areas that have large employment centers. So trying to make sure all of our employment centers are back accessible. This is going to be estimated to cost the city an extra $95,000 just for this additional effort this week. So it'll be effective, it just won't be cheap. And this is all construction equipment. So this is skid steers, graders, loaders, dump trucks. They're very effective, they're just slow. But it is working, and so we're going to continue and expand that effort. We're going to continue to add contractors depending on weather conditions and road conditions the rest of this week and next week if needed. It's going to start warming up finally, but the snow piles will still exist for a while, as we all know. Moving forward, where we hope to go very soon, but it may take a while, is looking deeper into this event. What happened, what went well, what didn't go so well, how can we improve? One of the comments that we've seen a lot is typical response, and that what used to be typical maybe 10 years ago, it maybe is no longer typical, and so we have to adjust our response to adjust to what may be considered a new normal. As we did last year, we revisited our snow and ice response plan in conjunction with our community partners, including UK, Fayette County Schools, and the State Transportation Department. And we will involve those partners again as we look again at our plan to see how can we continue to improve. And with that, I'd be happy to answer more specific questions. But knowing that we've also got a lot of questions lined up already from council members at 3 o'clock. Yes, Adrian.
Thank you. You might not like this question because it's a little bit more about
4,600 tons, yes, sir.
How much do you all have on hand still, and are there plans to get more salt, given that it's only February 3rd? And there
Right.
could be another issue?
Actually, I love that question. Thank you very much. We still have about 4,500 to 5,000 tons. We're still using it every day, so it's a little bit of a fluid number, but we still have enough for the next storm. We even have enough for the next storm if it's as bad as this storm, but we hope that it's not. And we are trying to restock. We have reached out to 2 salt suppliers. They are very busy. Salt is becoming a little bit of a national issue. And it did last year, if you remember. It became hard to find, and this is not the first year that this has been hard. We actually have 2 contracts in place. We are looking for additional options as we speak.
How satisfied are you with the city's response to last week's winter storm?
Satisfied is a hard word to say yes or no to. I know our staff has worked hard day and night for several days on end, so I will not fault their efforts. Could we have done better? Probably, and that's what we're going to look at. How would we address ice more specifically, especially that big, thick layer, which was a little different than last year? We're going to start looking at best practices from around the country to see if there's other opportunities that we didn't employ. Do we line up additional contractors earlier on? Things like that. So we will definitely look for how can we improve, but our folks did an amazing job and they've worked really hard.
What cities, if any, will you be reaching out to for guidance about winter prep?
Well, so far I've been trying to make sure that it's cities that are kind of maybe in our same temperature climate venue. So in addition to maybe some of our close by neighbors, Louisville, Cincinnati, Knoxville, Nashville got storms they didn't expect. You know, what are they looking at? Other cities might include Richmond, Virginia, or St. Louis, Missouri. They're kind of on our same area of the country, more or less. So I've asked Cleveland, Ohio, but they don't get the same snow we get. We all know that, so.
At this point, in the growth cleanup, is there any flexibility in terms of, someone calling out, like their sidewalk is frozen or they're having trouble getting their vehicle out? Is there any flexibility in responding to calls, or are you kind of still sticking kind of a rigid growth plan kind of for this?
We have gotten calls all along, and we have tried to prioritize them. If we know that there's a medical issue or an extenuating circumstance, we have tried to be responsive. We can't open every driveway, so that's kind of a dangerous path to start down, no pun intended, because we will just keep clearing driveways when we're still trying to get roadways open.
We've gotten a lot of feedback from our viewers who are living on rank 3, rank 4 roads that really barely anything has been done. We do commend the city for what they have been doing, but is there a plan going forward to expand the routes that drivers take or to maybe get to some of those roads quicker?
I would actually love to know which roads those are, so as we're doing our deeper dive, I can find out what happened. So if you would share them with me, I would really appreciate knowing. But that said, yes, I will be looking at all of the ranked system and how we may make improvements going forward. Yes, ma'am.
So we talked last week.
Yes, ma'am.
You said that you were using the,
Yes, ma'am.
does that address ice though? Or does that address ice and snow?
It does help the same way that the other, it's just another chemical reaction. What beet heat should do is lower the point at which salt is effective. So as our temperatures were so cold last week, that should have helped our salt be more effective in those bitter cold single-digit temperatures. But they all stop being as effective the colder it gets. So whether it's snow or ice is hard to melt because it has to really penetrate and kind of kick everything up. The slush is what we're really aiming for. So as all of that helps kind of break that ice up, but it all just takes more time when it's cold.
Okay, and can I just make a recommendation?
Sure.
From Massachusetts, I found that state does it best in terms of dealing with snow and ice. Have to go to school in large inches of snow because they don't cancel that much.
Right.
They can handle it very well. But we grew up in DC, Maryland, VA. I don't think they do it as well as Massachusetts, but that's just my recommendation.
Understood, thank you. Anything else? Yes, ma'am.
Is there a timeline of when you'll address some of these issues going forward?
I mean, it may take us a couple of months to really look back through our data and see where we could have made adjustments. And then honestly, some of the best practice depends on the weather and what else we get between now and spring that we have to readdress again. And to Adrian's first question, one of our first priorities today is getting salt. So we still have to make sure we're ready for the rest of this winter as we prepare for how to improve moving forward. Anything else? Thank you all very much. Appreciate the time.